If your fat loss stalls or if your cravings linger, make sure to watch your dairy because dairy is very easy to overeat and can contribute to snacking. The hunger rule is you want to eat until you're comfortably full. No grazing throughout the day. You really want to focus on these bigger meals. Doable beats perfection. Really important to understand that. Follow this plan for 30 days. Make sure to track your cravings, your energy, your digestion. If you're tired of guessing what to do, borrow my plan. Carnivore works because it removes the noise. So for the next 5 minutes, I'll hand you a plug-and-play 30-day plan. Foods, portions, electrolytes, and a 7-day menu. Also, what you can do at restaurants so you can start tomorrow. So here are the things that you should be eating. These are similar to what I mentioned in my previous video. Things like ruminant meats, which are things like beef, lamb, and bison. In addition to those ruminant meats, eggs and seafood, things like salmon, sardines, shrimp. You want to start cooking with butter or tallow and adding plenty of salt to taste to your ruminant meats and anything else that you're focusing on. Some things that are optional that you have to test your tolerance to, things like pork, chicken, and aged hard cheeses. You want to avoid things like plants, sugars and starches, seed oils, sauces with added carbohydrates, and keto snacks. Those things are very often very processed and they add a bunch of junk into them. And then also, if your fat loss stalls or if your cravings linger, make sure to watch your dairy because dairy is very easy to overeat and can contribute to snacking. Then you want to focus on portion targets. No macro math here, just portions are much more important. So you want to focus on protein. You always want to prioritize your protein. And ideally, if you are doing the macro math, you want to focus on about 0.7 to 1 gram of, per pound of goal body weight of protein per day. So an example would be if you want to get down to a goal of 180 pounds, then you want to eat about 125 to 180 grams of protein per day. In terms of meals, you want to have 2 solid meals per day for most and 3 in week 1 if needed. And then you want to not only, looking at your plate, you want to have at least 30 to 60 grams of protein in each meal, plus enough fat to create satiety for you. So things like butter and tallow and animal fat, you want to make sure you're getting plenty of that along with your protein. And the hunger rule is you want to eat until you're comfortably full. No grazing throughout the day. You really want to focus on these bigger meals and nothing really in between. Being that it's such a satiating diet, it works very nicely. Then thirdly, you want to make sure you focus on those electrolytes and hydration to avoid the low carb or keto or carnivore flu. So you want to focus on things like getting at least 4 to 6 grams per day of sodium, which approximates about 2 to 3 teaspoons of salt across your food and your water. You want about 300 to 400 magnesium milligrams per day. You can use either glycinate or citrate, glycinate or mag citrate. You want to make sure you're prioritizing protein with your, which is coming from your food, your meat, your seafood, your eggs. And optionally, if you want, in the early stages, you can supplement with about 200 to 400 milligrams of potassium if you're sort of crampy prone, like if you're prone to cramps. And then fluids, you want to drink to thirst. You want to add about a pinch of salt to 1 or 2 bottles per day to make sure you're getting that appropriate electrolytes in the early stages. So next we're going to focus on a 7-day meal plan. So you can repeat and rotate this for the next 30 days if you like. And I can certainly, if you put a comment down below, I can get you this in printed form. On day 1, you want to, meal 1 should be about 4 to 5 eggs in butter, cooked in butter, and maybe about 4 slices of bacon. Your second meal of the day, a 10-ounce ribeye plus butter on top. Day 2, your first meal will be about 8 ounces of salmon and 2 eggs in the morning, and then about 8 to 10 ounces of 80-20 beef bowl. So ground beef, 80-20 breakdown, and you want to cook that in tallow. Day 3, your first meal would be 2 cans of sardines and pork rinds. The second meal would be 10 to 12 ounces of lamb chops plus added butter. On day 4, your first meal could be 6 to 8 ounces of shrimp sauteed in butter, plus 2 eggs, like if you're eating this in the morning, for instance. And your second meal, 10 ounces of a New York strip steak. Day 5, your first meal, bone broth, which is nice and good and salty, and maybe 3 eggs plus 6 ounces of ground beef. Your second meal, 8 to 10 ounces of salmon. On day 6, your first meal, 10 ounces of beef patty stack, so beef patties to add up to about 10 ounces, plus cheese, which is optional if you want to add that in. Your second meal, 8 to 10 ounces of pork shoulder. On day 7, your first meal, 4 to 5 eggs plus a 6-ounce steak, and your second meal, 10 ounces of short ribs, which are good and fatty. As far as coffee and tea go, you want to drink that coffee or tea black only during fasting. You can add the dairy only if it's in your eating window or if you're testing it. You also have some flexibility. You can swap any fish for egg or beef per day and keep the protein anchors consistent. All right, and then the 30-day phase is what to expect, what you should expect during these first 30 days. Days 1 through 3, you're in adaptation mode. You may feel a little meh. You fix that with salt and water and make sure you're not under eating. Really important. I know all of us are pre-programmed for any diet, especially in the early stages, to kind of watch your portions. The beauty of carnivore is you're not watching those portions. Make sure you're not under eating. Days 4 through 10, your cravings begin to fade, your energy stabilizes, and then you can begin to move into a 2 meal per day cycle. On days 11 through 21, so like the second into the third week, digestion normalizes, mood becomes steadier, and you begin to keep your electrolytes daily. You don't have to supplement as much. In days 22 through 30, simplicity kicks in. Consider light fasting, maybe adding a 14-10 or a 16-8, only if you feel good. The beauty of this diet is it's sort of mimicking fasting, keeping those insulin levels very low, so you do not need to add the fasting in. But if you want to sort of speed weight loss or kick in a little extra, improving insulin sensitivity or weight loss, then you can add the fasting in. So a couple things on restaurants and social hacks. Order very simply. Stick to steak or burger patties. If you are in a restaurant that can't just give you the burger patties, just remove the bun. It's really pretty simple. Stick to things like grilled salmon, shrimp, and eggs. Swap sides for eggs or extra patties or bacon. Say it clean, so no sauces, no seed oils if possible, butter please. And then you want to pre-eat before events. This is the one thing that I highly recommend. I went to continuing education courses for my oral surgery, practice, and a lot of times there was really very little for me to eat. So what I did was I pre-ate my meal, and then I could kind of pick at things that were carnivore friendly when going to events, and bring things like beef jerky and sardines if needed. Sardines maybe not great in a public setting. The beef jerky works wonderfully. And then have a travel kit. Make sure that you pack salt and electrolytes, jerky or canned fish, so that you're never stuck. All right, and then troubleshooting any constipation. This is usually less frequent, but you're not stuck. Add broth and more fat with meals and walk after eating. That will help ease constipation. If you get a weight loss stall, kind of look at your cheese, your deli meats, and your late night bites. Make sure you're kind of keeping those to a minimum. Tighten down to your beef, eggs, seafood for 7 days, and you'll probably see that weight loss kick back in. If you have some low energy, increase sodium first, usually as a low electrolyte level. Then start to look at your total calories and don't diet during week 1 especially. Make sure you're eating to satiation. Make sure you're eating till you're comfortably stuffed, and make sure you're not under eating. That's one of the things that will definitely cause low energy. And make sure that you're getting plenty of fat, because when you're on the carnivore diet, you're using fat as fuel. You're not using glucose or carbohydrates as fuel. So make sure you're getting plenty of fat in your meals. Simply add the butter, other, tallow, things like that. So here are my final thoughts on this video. Doable beats perfection. Really important to understand that. Follow this plan for 30 days. Make sure to track your cravings, your energy, your digestion, and if possible, fasting insulin and A1C, triglyceride to HDL ratio if you're, monitoring this with lab work. Keep it boring, keep it salty, and let your body respond. So don't forget, here on the Obesity Project, we're cutting through the myths and we're getting to the root. So stay tuned for episode 112, the pros and cons and the deal breakers. Is carnivore right for you? And then make sure to check the Carnivore series playlist to follow along step by step and not miss a single episode. So thank you so much for watching. I absolutely appreciate your time and your attention. I hope you learned a little something. Feel free to ask me in the comments for the PDF version. I can get you this meal plan broken down for you step by step and in written form. And stay tuned for the next video. Appreciate your time, attention. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification, like, share, and comment, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.